Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to doing a worth the buy or not foundation review on the new Milk Stick foundation. I was hesitant about reviewing this just because I didn't know if you guys wanted to see it or not, but I went ahead and went to Sephora a few days ago and I was like, whoa, this looks really interesting and very, very creamy. So I was like, let me go ahead and grab this. I picked this up in the shade Honey, and I just want to go ahead and get right into this. Before I get into this, I do want to look at the price. This does retail for $36 with Maryland state tax. You get 6%, so it ends up being $38. It's supposed to be a medium coverage, natural finish foundation that covers, calms, and flexes without creasing or caking. That sounds very intriguing. Let's go ahead and just get it out of this packaging if I can. Okay, so it comes in this white packaging. You guys know last week when we reviewed our Kat Von D, it was also white packaging. I like how Milk does very clean looking packaging. This is nice, but the only thing with this is that I'm scared it's going to get really dirty because, you know, it's a foundation. So we're gonna be using my ProCure Rosa Care. And I'm gonna be applying this gel moisturizer on the cheek area. So today for primer, we're going to be using the Milk Grip Primer. I did a review on this and it wasn't bad whatsoever. The only thing that I do wanna let you guys know is that it does have some alcohol in here. So in case you're very sensitive to that, just be mindful of that. And I'm gonna use this because I wanna see how it works with the Milk foundation. So in unison, I wanna see if they're like a match made in heaven. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this all over. We're gonna be taking the foundation, and like always, I'm gonna be doing this side right here with a sponge and this side right here with a brush. Now keep in mind this foundation is a medium coverage, so I'm not expecting this to completely like cover everything it needs to cover immediately, but I will be seeing how it does and what I think. So I'm gonna bring you guys in closer so we can really dissect this. Okay, so I'm just gonna twist it up. You twist it from the bottom. And this is in the shade Honey. It was supposed to be like my good match, so we'll see. I'll be taking my e.l.f. sponge right here. I just cleaned it so it looks so fresh. When I slid it on my face, it definitely was very, very creamy. So I really appreciated that part of it because sometimes some sticks can be like a little dry and hard. But this completely like just swiped on great. Ooh, this actually looks really pretty. Looks like skin. Now, mind you, the sponge isn't very, very damp right now. Make sure that if you do use a stick foundation with a damp sponge, it's very, very little that it's damp, because if it's really wet, it's gonna legit just absorb the life out of that foundation and it's just not gonna work with you. So I would say make sure it's just a little pinch of damp, just enough for it to like get bigger and a little bit more bouncy so that it blends everything great. But this was good because I feel like right now it's helping it out. Also considering the fact that this is a medium coverage foundation, you don't want this to be too wet. So this actually looks really good. Like it looks very nice on the skin, and for some reason it's not giving me really like dewy luminous vibes. I feel like it's giving me a good skin-like vibe. There's a little bit of radiance, but it almost looks like radiance from within, not so much like dewiness sitting on top. But I do like the coverage, very skin-like. So let's go ahead and take some on the forehead. My forehead is like my area where I feel like, let me just get that. My forehead is my area where I feel like I don't need that much product. Forehead is pretty evened out. It does have like a slight scent. I don't know what it is. Like it smells like a natural scent, like something like healthy for you. I don't know. It just has like this good scent that I like. Okay, so that was on the rest of the side of the face. I think the color is great, to be honest. I like the color a lot. I feel like it evens out your skin, but it still gives you a very like natural finish. Like this just looks like my skin. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look like I'm wearing like a full face of makeup. It doesn't look heavy where I'm like, whoa, you're wearing too much makeup. It just looks really healthy on the skin. Like it's laying really nicely. So I definitely do like it with the sponge right now. Like I mentioned, make sure the sponge isn't soaking wet. just enough for it to get big and enough for it to just be bouncy to be able to blend everything out. So definitely liking the sponge. I do want to now see how it's going to do with a brush, because typically brushes and stick foundations tend to work the best. I personally, it does say that you can also use your fingers or your hands. I personally don't like using my hands when it comes to something that's a solid consistency. I'd rather use something where I can really go to town with it. I don't know. I just personally am not a fan of using my hands. I know it's weird, but I'm going to be taking my Morphe JH03 brush. This is going to be the brush that we're going to be blending the foundation out with. So we're going to start off in our cheek area, and I just like to do 3 stripes. And let me tuck my hair back. Helps that I have these clips on. So just going to stipple it. I blended it immediately. So I don't know if you guys saw, but I feel like I had to kind of like really kind of push it in on the side with the sponge to get it to blend. It blended a little bit slower than it did on this side. I feel like this side immediately, like, see how immediately it went into the skin. I feel like coverage wise, they both look equally the same. Like not one looks better when it comes to like how it's covering, because I just feel like the coverage is pretty good in this foundation. So I'm just going to apply this down here. I always find that a fat kabuki brush can always get the job done when it comes to blending. Like it can really just give you that like blend right away. Yeah, I feel like it looks equally as good with both the brush and the sponge. So I don't think there's a big difference there. I think with this one layer, I think we're good to go. I don't think we need to add more product, because I feel like less is more, especially if you don't need more, you're good. The only time I feel like I like to add more product is if I need to build it up, because you can still see my redness, or sometimes I feel like the foundation could use a little bit more like So with this one, I feel like it looks very good just as is. I don't need to keep layering more product on. The only thing I'm noticing right now is that I feel like on my nose area, I'm having a hard time with the product. Like there's some areas where I feel like the product isn't sticking on. So what I may do is I may just go back in with the stick and I may use the sponge. I find that sometimes when you use a brush on the nose area, because the nose is obviously smaller than the brush, it tends to like make the product move around too much and not stay where it needs to, as opposed to with a sponge, when you're going in those smaller areas, you can really press the product in exactly where it needs to go because of this point that you're able to really get it to stay there. So I think we're good on that part. I really like how it looks. I feel like it looks nice and healthy. Like I mentioned, it does really look like my skin. I feel like the finish is so skin-like that it's not giving you like overly like wet vibes or like overly like, ooh, she looks so matte. Like I just feel like it looks like good, healthy skin, which is definitely something that I always personally appreciate. The only thing, like I mentioned, that I am noticing is that on the nose area, it is kind of like separating. So I'm actually gonna go back in like this, and I'm gonna apply it. I mean, I added a little bit more on the nose and it builds up nicely. It's not like looking cakey or making what we already have on the nose look weird. So that's good. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, so this is the foundation on both sides. As you can see, I think it looks very beautiful. I think it looks like good skin. You can see some of that radiance, like that healthy radiance. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my very first initial thoughts on how everything's looking, how it's working with the rest of my products, and then we can go ahead and start our day with this Milk foundation. So far, so good. So I am back. I just finished my full face of makeup, and I'm ready to talk about the Milk Stick Foundation. So I have to say that it's laying nice right now on the skin. Everything that I used went on really well. I went ahead and used my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. It went on nicely. I baked, I had no issues. I do have to say though, this time around when I baked, my baking sponge was a little bit wet, which I feel like kind of helped that powder not feel so dry on the skin. So that's just something to note. If you do have dry or undries, wet your sponge a little bit to kind of don't wet it like a lot, just like a little tiny bit, so that it can kind of give that powder a little bit more hydration and not set so dry on the skin. And I feel like it definitely did a good job of just powdering that undry really well, which is something that I always have to do. Now, I do want to go in with a little bit of setting powder in the areas where I get oily, because I feel like with this foundation, I'll definitely get oily if I don't set it. So I am going to take my Airspun powder, and I'm going to take my Morphe my Morphe brush, I don't know what I'm saying, and I'm just going to go ahead and really tackle the areas where I tend to get very, very oily. So like the smile lines are a must. The forehead I always have to really go in because I always face those issues, and I think that will definitely help. So I feel like powdering the face really helps. And I do have to say, because the foundation is a medium consistency, the powder is setting really nicely on top, and it's not like drying up or looking cakey. It just looks very nice and almost like a soft matte filtered finish, which is something that I really wanted out of this finish that I have going on, just because I do have that oily skin that through the day can definitely be an issue. Now, I do have to say, I feel like for somebody that's looking for an everyday, natural, portable foundation, I think you will enjoy this, especially if you do have dry to normal skin, because I feel like it gives you that really pretty hydration. I do have to say, it's not as like dewy looking as some other stick foundations that I've tried. For example, the Makeup Forever one, which tends to like give you like luminous look right away, or the Hourglass. I feel like this one gives you more of a skin-like finish. So if you like that type of finish and you do have dry skin and normal skin, I think this will be definitely something, first impressions, that you will enjoy. But we will see how this does through the day. I will do my in natural lighting check-in with you guys, and then I'll probably do another check-in just so you guys can see how this is holding up before I come back at the end of the day and wrap up this video. But so far, so good. I definitely do feel like, for me personally, I would probably use this foundation more so on everyday use. Like if I'm just doing a very natural look, I feel like when I'm doing a more like dressed up look, like what I have going on right now, like a lot of makeup, I would want a little bit more of a full coverage foundation that will really kind of go with the full vibe, because I found myself having to go in with some concealer in certain areas to kind of intensify the makeup and like the face beat. So yeah, those are pretty much my first impression thoughts. I do think it looks very pretty, and I do really love this shade on me, Honey. I feel like this is a good shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I'll be seeing you guys later and let you guys know if this new Milk Stick Foundation is worth the buy or not. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I wanted to give you guys an update on the current makeup situation. Right now it is about to be 4 p.m. and I've been wearing this for pretty much since, I want to say, like 9:30, so it's been so far a long day. And you guys can see how it looks. I do have oily skin, so it's starting to get dewy in the areas where I did set it. And I feel like, excuse my lipstick, I ate, that's why it looks like that. But I feel like we are looking dewy. I'm kind of scared of how it's gonna look by the end of the day, so I may go ahead and blot it. But right now I'm so tired because I was up filming till like 1 a.m. last night, so I'm about to take a nap. But I just wanted to show you guys what this is looking like. As you can see, the oils are there. Somebody that has oily skin is probably cringing right now, so I totally get it. But I'm gonna wear this for a few more hours and see how this does, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts on the Milk foundation. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 6 p.m. and I have worn this foundation for pretty much the entire day. The last time you guys saw me was when I was doing a check-in of the foundation around like 4 p.m. and I'm just ready to take off this makeup. These lashes are like, ugh. But I just want to quickly say that this is what we're looking at right now. It is dewy. I feel like the foundation honestly is definitely for people that are looking for a natural wear foundation for every day. Somebody that has dry skin, somebody that has normal skin. I feel like for somebody that has oily skin, it's gonna look nice, but it's definitely gonna get dewy. So you do wanna make sure that you are blotting. This would probably be my first time blotting it. So if I wanted to continue wearing it, I would definitely have to go back in and blot it. I have to say it has really good lasting power though, because even though it did get oily, it's still all on my face. Even with me eating and stuff, it didn't really transfer or move that much. I think that this will work great for people that have dry to combination skin. It's just that I know as an oily skin person, if you see oils, you're just like, no thanks. So I totally get that. I do think that it has a pretty wear when it comes to just feeling like skin. I feel like it has that good medium buildable coverage that you can build upon. I just feel like personally for me, would I get use out of this? Probably not. I would rather use something else for an everyday foundation. For a natural wear, something that'll keep me a little bit more matte. So those are pretty much all my thoughts. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I love filming my reviews. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these types of videos for you guys. Also, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't become a member of our family here, because I would love for you to become a member of our family. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video ever, because you won't want to miss all the good stuff that I bring onto this channel. So that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.